of the First Lady in Anambra State. Not to say that office is not relevant. However, I would say that a man who had the courage to sort of limit opportunities for his family to eat via the position of the First Lady in Anambra State is a man who really looks beyond himself and wants the country to be progressive. With that said, I don't think a lot of our politicians today would want to do that. I see a leader who, yeah, there's something I also read online somewhere that I would like to pick out. The part where Obasanjo had to visit him at some point during his tenure in Anambra State. And he said he had to, yeah, they brought $500 million budget or so in order to accommodate Obasanjo's visit. However, he himself had to evacuate the government house just to cut spending. On the article I read online, he spent about 120,000 naira for the hotel he stayed with his family, such so that Obasanjo can stay in the government house in Anambra State. I am not from Anambra State, and I can tell you something. I schooled in Futo, Owerri. Before P2B, the place they call Opiweka, that is where we enter motor for going to Futo. You can't walk there late at night. Once it's 6 o'clock, the chances of you being robbed or something is very, very high. So in terms of security, him saying that providing people with basic need would solve half of the security challenges in the country is fact. It's fact. Look at the NSAS, the people that disrupted the entire NSAS protest. How much were they paying them? 500 naira, 1,000 naira. It's absurd. You know that the people are hungry. I'm not trying to say there's reasons why people should indulge in crime, but looking at how the country is going, you know that the hunger alone is a cause of a lot of crime and things that are going on currently in Nigeria. So coming back to the issue of Opiweka, I can tell you categorically that that place is a lot more safer now. People walk around at night. P2B stabilized the state, and I can also say something about the money he left at the treasury. I don't think I have heard or seen anywhere in Nigeria that a governor that worked so well, paid salaries. He always brags that until the day he left office, there was no person, one person wasn't owed in civil service, not one person, gratuity, salary, pension, whatsoever it was. No other governor in Nigeria can, brag. You might think of those that maybe they left more money and all that, but were they paying salaries? Did they ensure security in their state? Did they do things to put their state in a good, stable condition? We're all appreciating Anambra, saying Anambra has a lot of millionaires and all that. Yeah. But why does that state have a lot of wealthy people? Because the governor they had in P2B and some other good governors they've had has made the state a place where investors can come and flourish. Startup businesses flourish in Anambra. I don't think you can say the same for Nigeria as a whole or some other states in Nigeria, maybe apart from Lagos. And Lagos being that it is where importations and all that happen, Lagos benefits from Nigeria as a whole. It's not about even those that are Lagosians or not. When you look at how Lagos makes its money, you understand that half of Lagos money comes from people who don't even live from Lagos, who don't even live in Lagos. That's where ship docks, that's where things come from. So with that said, I think when we all come with a clear heart and decide to be honest, if not for our sake, for the sake of our children, we would realize and understand that Peter Obi is one of maybe not even existent politicians in Nigeria that could take us to where we need to be. So I think we should all put sentiments apart, irrespective of your religion, where you're from. I'm from Delta State, by the way. Irrespective of where you're from and anything we are doing, let us put sentiment apart and look for a progressive Nigeria. Let's do our best and hope that he gets the primary ticket. And worst case scenario, I am of the thought that even if they don't give him the ticket, we can open a GoFund and fund the P2B for a neutral party. And with the youth massively going for P2B, we have the most population in Nigeria. I don't see a reason why P2B can't be president of this country, even if PDP doesn't give him the ticket. That's my opinion anyways. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nidu. We appreciate you. The next speaker would be Mr. Chijindu. I'm sorry if I'm not getting that correctly. Please, you would have to pardon me, okay? please.
All right, much for giving me the
Okay,
opportunity,
go
and good
ahead.
afternoon, everyone.
Just 5 minutes,
Um,
okay? The maximum time to speak is 5 minutes, not particularly to you, but everybody. Thank you.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Okay, so I don't have much to say, but what I just want to say for my own part is this is not a time to sit on the fence. As a young person in this country, we have roles to play, and that role is a role that we must intentionally play, we must passionately play. Now, it's not even about where we come from or our religion and all of that. This is a very, very important moment in the history of Nigeria. We have really sunk so low for the past a number of years that we have this administration, not necessarily because of a party or whatever it is. I am particular about individual performance. I am particular about results. I'm particular about seeing what competency people have, not necessarily about parties. Now, parties definitely is the structure that brings people to power, but I love what the previous speaker said, where he said that even if the PDP does not give him ticket, that we can even rally around him. But that's not my focus. My focus is there is something each of us can do, because this is about rescuing Nigeria. This is a passionate appeal. This is about young people rising up to say enough is enough. This cannot be a time when older Nigerians look at Nigeria as their business or their whatever, their heritage. We all own this country together. As long as we have our PVC, as long as we have capacity and we agree that we are going to vote, we have a right to vote and we have a right to choose who governs us. This is a very critical moment. And why I'm sounding this way is because for me, the man P2B presently is the most qualified person for the seat of Nigeria's presidency. This is not about sycophancy, it's not about partisanship or anything. This is about competency, which is what we need the most at this time. This is a man with a trajectory that can be verified with what he did in Anambra State, which is absolutely verifiable. Now, for people who are saying no Igbo man, Igbo presidency and all that, people are talking so many things about Igbo people not being president. Let's even put those sentiments apart. Let's put all the candidates on a weighing balance. None of them has as much competence, as much capacity presently as P2B. So I am an Igbo person, yes, I agree. But beyond that, I look beyond the periscope of my Igbo-ness, and I am looking into my Nigerianness and how it is important for us to remedy this country at this time. If we look at the current president we have now, with all due respect to the office of the presidency, you just wonder. You can barely hear any form of intellectual conversation or sound argument on economics, or even look at the trajectory and see this is the exceptional thing that has been done by this administration. The honest truth is that you really can't point. Yes, they have done what they can as per leaders, and they are currently trying their best, but that best is not good enough. Right now, we need someone to rescue Nigeria from where it is. So, what is my appeal to all of us is let's all start with getting our PVCs. And not just you getting your PVC, can you take 5% to also ensure they get their PVCs and begin to educate people on why it is important for us not to sit on the fence? Because right now it is too dangerous to sit on the fence. Whoever gets into power next time will likely stay there for 4 or 8 years. And you can imagine what 4 or 8 years will mean to each and every one of us in this particular platform this afternoon. So I hope that we can think about it and take action very personal as we also take action corporately. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chijindu. We appreciate you for being very instructive to all progressive Nigerians on this platform. The next person to go would be Mr. I'm trying to. There was someone else before. Okay, Mr. I don't know if Mr. Ino will go or oh, Mr. Chinonso first. Sorry, Mr. Ino
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Let's
it should
let
be,
Mr.
it should be,
Chinonso go first.
it should
Yeah, I think
be.
I think it's Eno go. Sorry.
Okay,
So
okay, Mr. Ino, you should go. Right?
I've been for a long time.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
good,
please.
good morning, good
Just
afternoon,
5 minutes,
everybody.
please. 5
Okay,
minutes.
yeah, my time starts now.
Go ahead.
So it's I I listened to the interview today, and I was just saying, wow, 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 wow. At this point in our lives as Nigerians, we are at a point where like we're just like patients who are on oxygen. We're on a lifeline on oxygen, and I think P2B right now is that oxygen we need, continuous oxygen we need right now, is the one that can save this country. Why listening to his interview, he was giving facts. It's just like what he was saying. You will understand that this man, he knows how to do this thing to get the results. It's just like putting 1+1, you must get 2. It's just like when during the secondary school days, they say whether blue litmus in acid to turn red. When you do this, you get this, and these are practical things practical solutions that you can see that this man knows how to take us out from where we are today. Now, my takeaway from his interview today was first, I know some people have said some things about them, which is the borrowing for production and not for consumption. That is one of the problems we have in Nigeria today. Money borrowed are not used for production, are not used to develop the country. Instead, they are being used carelessly. Now, look at what the Minister of Transport was saying, that he requested about 30 billion naira for security, something on the rail. Believe you me, that 3 billion naira, up to 40% of that money will not be used for that project. Up to 40% is for careless spending. Up to 40% is for careless spending. And that is what happened in most ministries in this country. Complete wastage. I'm from Anambra State. I was in Anambra when P2B was the governor. And I knew the impact he made in Anambra State. I was there then, and I knew the impact he made when he was the governor of Anambra State. My other takeaway was when he was asked about how is he going to tackle the current issue of security. And he first said there are 2 types of security: national security and defensive security. You see, when this man speaks, you understand that this man knows the problem and he knows the solution. One of the major problems we have in this country is poverty. People are suffering, people are hungry. And the fact is that these politicians, they know that the height of poverty is to their own advantage. They know. That is why they continue doing things that plunge us into poverty. I have a friend that works in INEC. She's my church member. We're talking. She was saying a lady came for a PVC at their office. So she was saying she wants to do a PVC. She wants to do a PVC. This man come there. He said, say last year he didn't get PVC, he missed election money. So this year he comes, so I know he miss election money. Now you have to understand what these people have reduced the common Nigerian to. That people look at every 4 years for election money. Most youths here, where I say, like I stay in Kogi State right now in Lokoja. I have some young boys, locals that work with me. I've engaged them in conversation. You see, most of them are waiting for election, that election money, and that is one of the tools these politicians have used to cripple the youths of this country. You won't be surprised that APC this failed government will be going for rally, and you see thousands of youths that will be going to share them up. Why? Because they want to collect 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Peter Obi has given us the final solution. With the things he said on Arise Television today, every right-thinking Nigerian, every Nigerian that wants the progress of this country, know that
Your time.
Yeah.
Your time is up.
Wow. 5 minutes already. Okay.
Just round up, okay?
Okay, thank you. So on rounding up, and that thing I took.
So once it rings, you know that your time is up without me saying anything.
Okay, thank you. So another thing I took from his interview was that the first lady office is unnecessary and is a waste of funds. And that thing I took from this interview was the fact that power generation is one of the key factors to take us out of this economic mess we are in, because it's going to make production more convenient and it's going to bring more investors into the country. And that thing, somebody was saying about if PayPay doesn't give him the tickets, I want to understand even if we rally around P2B to obtain a phone for him for another place, P2B is not a toxic politician. I'm so scared that even if PDP does not give him that ticket, he might just relax and not go for another party. That's just my fear. But I wish, even if PDP does not give him the ticket, I just wish he can accept going to another party. I use my mind. Thank you.
All right, Kof, are you there? All right. Before she comes in, I have to call the next speaker. Thank you very much, Inogo, for that.
Okay, sorry, my phone hanged. Sorry.
All right, please go ahead now. Go ahead.
Okay. You said you wanted to ask him some questions, or
No, not
okay. I joined while you already took some speakers, so I don't know who is supposed to be next. But judging from what is here, could we allow? I don't know if the person with a female profile.
I think Chinonso should be there. Should be the next.
Okay.
Yeah, for quite a while.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not going to spend too much time because everybody has actually spent the mind of, I'm sure, majority of us here. Now, my takeaway from Peter Obi's interview this morning, I watched it from beginning till end, and you can see the articulation that he was making on empowering the SMEs, the MSMEs, because that is where progress for any nation comes from. Now, the bigger corporations, the multi-million dollar corporations, those are the ones that will tip you over to being a spectacular nation. But for foundational growth, it has to come from the MSMEs, and he shed light on it. He made sure that people knew that that's where he's going to target, because he even gave references. If you go to China today, you go to Indonesia, and some other examples that he gave, you see that majority of their investment goes into the MSMEs, and majority of the output comes from this same sector. So that's my own takeaway. That's what I'm holding strongly, because if you can't even empower these MSMEs, and again, you can't even guarantee their security, because half the problem now in Nigeria is caused by security. People can't even go to farm. You go to farm, you get your goods. Your goods can't even come from farm to the mainland. You can't even export because you don't know what's going to happen along the way. You understand the way Peter Obi pushes out his own message. He reminds me of Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State. They have the same kind of charisma. You understand? And these are people that are progressive. So I don't know how to say it, but we need to just back this person. Even if it's not the person, the ideas that he comes with, because I believe, in my own opinion, he will be able to move Nigeria from where we are, not spectacularly to where we want to be, but we will be.
Are you there? I think his network is having issues. Maybe you can call up the next speaker, co-host. Okay, Mr. Chinos, are you there? Okay, so while we wait for him, I think let me call up the next speaker then. We have Izuchukwu here. He's been here for a while. Izuchukwu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I don't even know where to start from. I think personally, I'm very passionate about P2B's candidacy and presidency. We've gone.
Okay, yeah, just finish up. Sorry, just hold on.
Yeah. So
Okay.
in closing, I just want to say that even if we're not going to back this person, anybody that comes with ideas like this and proven track record, because if you check for Peter Obi, go to Anambra. I'm not from Anambra, I'm from Abia, but I know a lot about Anambra. You will be shocked at the accomplishment that he had. Even his successor did not even do as much as he did. So I just want in closing, let's do our best to back this person. I think he's the best option for Nigeria currently. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you. Mr. Izu, you can continue, please.
Okay, yeah. So um, there's a lot we can talk about Obi. Nigeria has gone through a lot, especially in the last 7 years. And Obi has been one of the very politicians that before now has refused to talk about politics. Even when the media throws it at him, he will tell you that it's not an election period. So let's deal with the issues we have as a nation. Let's talk about security, let's talk about economy. He would always stay away from talking about politics. And that's what we rarely see from here. He doesn't banter. This person does this. He knows what he wants to come and do. Obi has been the one that reawakened the conscience of a lot of Nigerian youth. Obi has been, I think for me, Obi is just for is he's brought for the youth because when he talks about access to fund for SMEs, who are the ones to start small businesses is youth. When he talks about ASU strike, who are the ones? The youth. When he talks about unemployment, who are the ones? The youth. When he talks about saving, who is he saving for? The youth for tomorrow. When he talks about out of school children, who is he talking about? Is also the youth. So he has reawakened all of us, and I think that's why we are having the organic support that Obi has today. It's not just about politics. He has been talking to us, he has been communicating to us, he has been reminding us and, you know, educating us on what we need to do to have our country back. They have run the country aground. Obi has always been there for all of us. Even during NSAS, he was there. He lended his voice. You know, he's for the future of Nigeria. There's one very important thing he did that I'm very happy and most politicians don't do. Most of our politicians do blame games. When Obi took over Anambra, Anambra was in a mess. You could barely hear him say, "Oh, because the former governor did this or did that, therefore I am allowed to fail." No, he was elected to solve the problems on ground, and that's what he did. Today, he's coming to help us solve the problems that Nigerians have. When you see somebody that is ready to serve, you will know. Somebody that has gone round to study how people are doing, how the progressive nations are doing things. It's like he would always say, he would tell you that it's very simple. You just have to do the right thing. Why? Because people have implemented these things and it worked for them. We're not asking our leaders to even be innovative. Just copy what has been done and put it here. The good things, you go abroad, you see light rails, you see a lot of good things. They don't talk in that light. Okay. I don't even know how to explain Obi. Obi is not because I'm Igbo. Some people want to bring sentiment into it. There's a lot of Igbo aspirants today. But when you check all of them, Obi stands out, totally stands out. You have a lot of fine gentlemen and empires and the likes, but Obi stands out completely. So Obi's message, I don't know how we can preach it, but the only thing I beg all of us is let's preach Obi's message with love. Let's not banter. Let's try to bring everybody on board. We don't have to fight with anybody. I'm happy when I see posts like I think I tweeted yesterday. I'm happy when I see posts like he can never win PDP primaries and all that. It for me, it only reduces complacency among his team and among his followers. It gives them reason to work harder to make sure that okay, this thing you guys say he cannot do. Let's work and see how we can get it done. Another point I want to raise is there are several ways to rig election in Nigeria. I think PVC is one of the ways. When you try to do a PVC process, it doesn't encourage the working class, the middle class, because when you go there, it looks very horrible. So again, the timing is another problem. They work Monday to Friday. There are some working class that don't have time within this period. So I'm asking, is there a way we can push INEC to somehow have, I don't know how I'm going to put it, but maybe sometimes have people that work like on Saturdays to ensure that people that cannot do their PVC process on weekdays can get it done. No matter what you feel online, you have to spend at least 1 day to do your PVC processing. A lot of people don't have that time. We know how the work is. A lot of people cannot even go on break in Nigerian system today. Is there a way we can push INEC to see if we can have more time, maybe Saturdays, to help people get this PVC process done? I yield the mic.
Okay, thank you very much, Izuchukwu. Co-host, are you there?
Okay, hello. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you for talking. Sorry, sometimes I will not be able to speak very quickly as you expect me because my phone is hanging. I sincerely apologize for that. So the next person to go would be Mr. Sulodi. I don't know if I got that accurately. Please go ahead.
You did. You
And
did.
then after that, we have the female, the person with the female profile. I don't know if it's me, but after Sulodi,
Okay. Thank you very.
please go
Thank
ahead.
you very much.
Minutes.
Thank
So
you
I'm
very much.
speaking now.
Thank
Go
you
ahead.
very much. Thank you very much. I listened to the Peter Obi interview this morning, and I was saddened by the fact that we have such a brilliant mind in Nigeria, and we have allowed all these other people to run the country around. Peter Obi represents a complete separation from the era and the reign of the oligarchs. And so Nigeria needs to move away from our father's generation that have ruined the country. Nigeria needs to move away from people who have run the country since 1960s and have refused to leave because it has become a game for them. Every time people go on TV and they talk about how the present government has done well, I feel very pained that if these are the caliber of people that are governors of states, and this is their own idea of a Nigerian being run well, then we have a big problem. After listening to Peter Obi today, it was a mixture of joy and pain because here is somebody who could identify the problem and tell you the solution. Here is somebody who could tell you what the problem of this nation is and tell you the way out of it. Before even his interview, we are borrowing money as a country to service debt. That is as bad as it has gotten. If you hear the figures of monies we have borrowed, Peter Obi said it today, that what can be shown for all the money we have borrowed. He took us back to how much we were owing when Obasanjo left and how much we owe now. Nigeria, the future for Nigeria needs somebody who is ready to roll his sleeves and do the work. And I know everywhere now we have politicians who know nothing about integrity. To have one man continue to say, go and check my record. If there's anything there that is not right, call it out. Is to know that you have the right person that can bring the required turnaround in the affairs of Nigeria. But I wish he had started this campaign 2, 3 years ago. Creating the awareness now will be a major assignment. And it starts with
getting your PVC. The country you want is the one you participate in. Get your PVC. Don't be an armchair critic sitting in your house, sitting in front of your TV with, eating and criticizing everything. Partake in this turnaround we want for this nation. Let this generation that has ruined this country be showed the door. Let us show them the door so that we can have a rebirth in this nation. Thank you very much. I yield.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Solo. Thank you for that wonderful submission. Co-host, are you there? If you're not there, I think I'll call up the next speaker. Abasi, you see, are you there? Then after Abasi, we Sesk will go. Yeah, go ahead now.
Okay, good afternoon, great minds. I've been listening to everybody here, and to me, I've really lost hope in Nigerian leadership. But since I started listening to this man, his vision, it shows that it's the hope of this nation, whether we like it or not. But I think what we all have to do is how to educate everyone that we know, our friends, our classmates, the one that graduated or the one that's still in school, to start doing jobs, telling them that this is in thing. Get into your social media, make use of it. Don't just go to social media, start watching videos. Skit will not help us. Skit can only take away your sorrow for a minute for a minute. After watching a skit, you come back to unemployment, you come back to bad governance, you come back to strike, you come back to all sorts. So non-industrialization. And I'm always a kind of person that believes that leadership without industrialization is like somebody going to the farm, harvesting cassava, and decided to sell it to somebody who will prepare the gari, and the person will now go back and buy that same gari. It shows one thing, that the person will not sell that gari the amount he bought that cassava from you. If he bought it 5,000 naira, he will sell it for 8,000 to you. So who is losing? Is it you that is planting it, or the person that bought from you? You that planted it, that will not make use of it, is the one that is paying a higher price for it. So if our youth at this point in time could not follow up with these thoughts of our dear leader, P2B, I will call him leader from now because he has warmed my heart with his opinions, with his campaign promises and his campaign directions. And one thing about his direction of campaign is that he does not criticize. It doesn't tell you what the other person has not done or what the person, whether this person has failed. It goes straight to the point to tell you the problem of this nation, which is one, lack of industrialization. That is a big one, and this is the base of corruption. When you don't industrialize, corruption comes through because it kills, first of all, it kills employment, it kills your rate of export and increases your import. And these are the kind of things that Nigeria need right now to increase their net profit, their GDP, and to be able to pay off some of their debts. Nigeria is in a great debt. So sometimes when I look at Nigerian debt, I believe I come to the conclusion that Nigeria has been sold. Because our debt, if they check our resources right now that we have at this state, cannot be able to pay the amount of debt that Nigeria is into. And many of you does not know this. A country that does not have reserve is dead. It doesn't have, there's no future for this, for me and you. There's no future for my generation, and there's no future for generation to come, except we use this opportunity in 2023 to correct this notion. If we know those that are delegates in voting, in nominating and supporting candidates in PDP, let's start encouraging them and telling them that money is not everything. Even if they give you 2 million naira to vote out somebody who is responsible, that would have helped you gain more than 2 million naira and a healthy life. It will not be within 1 year, 2 million will finish. What happens in the next 4 years, in the next 8 years? It's a big road that we will have to walk through. This is a very trying time for Nigeria. It's a time for us, especially the youth, to rise up to the occasion. get your PVC, educate people around you. Tell your mom will tell your dad will tell his friends will tell their friends. I will tell my friends will tell their friends. I will tell my brother will tell their friends, and their friends will tell. That is just it. As it is now, I've not seen any candidate in Nigeria that is worth my vote apart from P2B right now. Like I said, if they fail to give P2B ticket, I doubt if I will go to voting pool. Because what am I going to vote for? I should go and vote for another extra 8 years of nothing, 8 years of suffering. People have died in this nation because of insecurity, because of banditry, because of bad leadership, because of bad roads. Somebody told me one thing, that there are many things in Nigeria that can enforce easy death and untimely death. It is not road, it is government bad policy. It is not government bad policy. If it's not government bad policy, it will be bandit. If it is not bandit, it could even be hunger or bad health system. So there are many things that are going wrong in this country that should be corrected in this 2023. And if we fail to do that, posterity will judge each and every one of us. So the youth, especially, is in our hands to make the decision right now. The old men that live their lives, highest they have on this earth will not be up to 40 years. We have a whole life ahead of us. So what decision we take now determine the future of Nigeria, whether we are going to remain in Nigeria peacefully or in chaos, because as it is now, Nigeria has been ranked the third in insecurity. No investors is coming into Nigeria because of insecurity, whether we like it or not.
Yeah,
The
please
rate
round
of
up now. The next 1 minute.
Okay, let me round up. So the rate of insecurity has reduced investors, and we pray and we encourage each and every one of us, get your big frisbee, encourage your friends, your parents, your brothers and your sisters, people around you. Anywhere you are, they're talking about leadership, bring it up and educate them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you, ma'am. It's always good when we have women speaking up, because there is a lot that women can accomplish, especially looking at our Nigerian history. Even in the socio-political scene, women have always played a vital role. And I believe that if we have more women, this will be achievable. We appreciate you. Sorry, the next speaker would be, I don't know how to pronounce this, CES.
Sesk,
Or CIS?
sesk.
Sex.
Yeah,
Sex.
sesk. Yes.
Wow. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. I want to appreciate you guys for this opportunity. But first, I would first start with the story. I didn't start supporting Peter Obi, like, let me say, last year, or maybe I just started around February stroke March. But one of the things I do is I do a lot of research before before I make a decision about something. I do a lot of research, and I like people that are deep thinkers. I like people that can actually look at the situation and not just see the ambiguity of the situation, but also see how simple that brings situations down simple, and see go down to the roots to try to resolve the issue. I can tell you that one of the reasons why I started supporting Peter Obi is that he doesn't think like a politician. That's number one. Number two, he has come into the scene to raise the bar. Let me give an example. Sorry, I'm going to use an example. Somebody declared to be the president yesterday. And I can tell you, in the whole of his speech, it was just English, probably using literature and all those things they use in literature, trying to probably talk, but never spoke about the issue of this country. Never itemized the issue of this country. It is English, English, English. I saw a write up somewhere. They said, Gordon's, he was saying it. He said, this same thing they were saying in the 1960s is the same thing they are still saying now. They will give you road, they will give you light, they will give you this. But there is somebody here that is using facts, that is using numbers, that is using all the indices and everything to analyze Nigerian situation. Let's be very sincere, let's tell ourselves the truth. Every parent, if you're growing up, let me give an example, and you're growing up and your dad sees another child doing well, number one, the first thing he will always want to tell you is try to be friends with that child. If probably you're not doing well, and probably what is the child doing or what are the parents doing that you can actually emulate and also use to to on your children, that will probably improve the level of your children. We have Nigeria. Yes, we said okay, maybe America is 100 years old or 100 and something years old. But we as Nigerians, we as it stands, you need a roadmap to achieve what you want to achieve. Like want to be the same level like the US and the other countries that are developed. What do? You need to look for a you need to copy. It's a simple, so simple. Copy. What have they done? And who do we have that have gone around these places? Not just for vacation. I am asking because most of our politicians they go out of this country for vacation. Somebody is going to a country intentionally to see why did they develop, how did they develop, what are they doing right? Can I ask a question? How many of our politicians have done that? If you don't have Nigeria at heart, why if you don't have Nigeria, you cannot do that. This is somebody that has Nigeria at his own heart, deep down. I can tell you the truth. Let me be very sincere. I have lost hope. In short, the truth about it is my plan is to look for the next way I'll take my family out of this country. But I told my wife something. I said, if this man comes to rule, I know very well that the reason for me going out, there won't be any reason for me to leave this country because I know that things will be done well. You see somebody, I give an example from the last 10 years. Maybe you're earning 120,000 naira. As at that period when you're earning 120,000 naira, let me say 150 dollar, $1,000 was 150. And at that point in time, you're looking yourself, okay, I can at least at the end of the month earn $1,000. Now you put your hard work, do everything in this life to see probably if I can start earning maybe like $5,000 at the end of the month. Now I'm talking about 10 years ago. You put all your hard work and everything, but if you bring it now to today, the as at back then, $5,000 is around 500,000 naira. But I ask a question. Now you've put all your energy and you're now earning the 500,000 naira right now. You're still earning the same $1,000 you were earning back then. And the price of goods and services has also increased. So that is to say, the more you try to push yourself out of poverty, you are just only recycling inside the same poverty. I don't know how, sometimes I wonder how some of us youth think. There is just so much we, our own self, can impact to the society. And this is somebody that is not just coming, he's not coming to talk about the elite class. He is talking directly to each and every one of us that is trying to look for how we can get the day running. There are so many ideas on the streets you see people post and they say that this guy is talented. But I ask a question, it only ends in our mouth. There is no platform for us to develop what we can use to probably export and also better the life of our families. This man is someone I myself have come to believe that yes, he might not have, because I know many of our youth today, you see somebody coming, and what did you talk about answers? What did you talk? He's not a perfect man. Let's tell ourselves the truth. He's not a perfect man. But I ask a question. If probably you have in 100%, you have that, okay, this man is maybe pro 70% or 80%. And you can't, at least we can as well say, okay, let's do away with the 20% that probably is not good. But you need that 80% that is good and work with it. He's not coming to become the perfect person. He's not who said he's going to be perfect. Every
Okay.
youth probably. Okay, I think my
Yes.
time is up, right? Just a minute.
Yes.
Okay. So what am I saying? From everything he has said today, he has everything. If you check 2017 till now, because I went and I watched all his videos, there is nothing that he's saying today that is new. And I can still tell you the same thing. If you check his videos from 2017, the same thing, the same issues that are still that are affecting Nigeria from 2017 or maybe from 2015 is the same issues that are affecting Nigeria now, and it's the same issues. It's the same issues that they've kept a close eye to, but it's still coming and even becoming worse. This is the man every youth should be proud of and beat their chest that yes, they can get their Nigeria back. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for your passion. You sounded really passionate. And like I said earlier on the platform, I believe that everyone in this room is a progressive, and that is why you've decided to come. Even if you are not a supporter of Peter Obi, I believe that by the time you leave here, you will become a disciple of good governance. We appreciate everybody. So now we are moving on to Mr. Isa Mohammed. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, good day, everyone.
And then,
Good day.
sorry. After you, then Mr. Nice will go.
Okay. Interesting conversation. Varied opinions. Wonderful speakers. But the central point is the fact that you can't take away His Excellency's um, intellect. His understanding of issues, his understanding of the country, his understanding of the economy, and the fact that he's got the pedigree, he's got the qualification, he has the experience, he understands where the problems are, and he's always dishing out practical solutions. I listen to him. I usually listen to the morning show on Twitter. Um, every morning just to catch up with what is happening in the country. Usually on their Twitter link, you just see around 10 or 12 people, viewers. But today you had more than 150 people on Twitter platform through Arise today. So it just shows you that people are interested, people who really want the progress of the country, people who really want Nigeria to progress. They are interested in what he has to say. And it's quite unfortunate that we have such talent, yet we have been recycling old and expired leaders, people who do not understand contemporary 21st century problems, and they cannot even proffer solutions to simple problems that are happening within our country. And so it begs the question. Some people have been saying, oh, must it necessarily come from one part of the country? And somebody replied and said, look, every part of the country has qualified people, just the way we have bad people. So even if Obi is not a member, of the present party in power, one would have expected that all these solutions he has been proffering, at least people in this government should have taken a cue from some of these things he has been saying over the years and try and see how they can implement them in solving these issues. And he said two things today that I totally agree with. We need to solve the problem of power. If you have power, you can get industries to work. If you have power, you can bring in foreign direct investment. And unfortunately, will I say fortunately, Nigeria is a country that has so much reserve of gas. We have the highest proven reserves of natural gas in Africa. And I think globally we are the ninth producer of gas in the world. Yet we have energy problem. And according to the United Nations Human Development Index, there's a correlation between power and development. The more power people get, the more access to power people have, energy, the more people get out of poverty. And so he talked about power, and he talked about what is it called? Education. Developed nations, as it were, are what they are today because of research and development, and that is because they heavily fund education. And so it's really important that whether he gets the PDP's ticket or not, only time will tell. But I earnestly hope he gets the ticket. And for the first time in our nation, we will have people who understand the nation. More importantly, the economic problems and how to solve them. Buhari came in on insecurity, uh, economy, and uh, power. But where are we today? Unemployment is at its highest level. People are being killed on a daily level. The national grid keeps on collapsing, and a host of other issues. These problems are systemic, they are endemic, and they've been there for a while. We need a breath of fresh air. We need new leadership. We need, like Obi said, we need people that can make money, not people that will share money. He has always said he is not in support of sharing money. He wants people that can bring money, like people that can bring back manufacturing, people that can create jobs, people that can transform life. The educational system is revamped. The country saves a lot of money and a host of other things. And so I can only wish my man, His Excellency Peter, will be the best. And I sincerely hope, like this is a prayer I've been having, that he gets the ticket of the People's Democratic Party. For those of us that are here, that are, close to Peter Obi, please, you need to tell him he needs to be more charming. He is in the political arena now. You need some charm, some charisma, some finesse, as we say it in Nigeria. He needs, like, intellectually sound, but he
You're
needs
right.
those finesse. He needs those street credibility, that your ability to blend and do things. And I've listened to him times without number. He's always addressing the issues as they are. But Nigeria also needs you to have, apart from the intellect, you need to have the charm, you need to know how to navigate your way, you need to blend and all of that. So those of you that are close to him, just tell him that one of his loyal fans say, hey, you need to add some finesse to his this thing. And we pray for the best. Thank you. I yield.
Okay. Thank you very
Yeah,
much,
so
Mr.
sorry,
Isa. Okay, go ahead.
sorry, Angie, quickly. Mr. Isa, sorry, please. I just wanted to quickly point out that Mr. Isa, so we have a movement, right? Young persons, just like all of us here, most of us here, are member of a movement, right? That want to see His Excellency, want to see how we can push him as young people together. So if you don't mind, sir, would like to have you join us, and I'd like to come to your DM personally to talk to you about what we are doing and how you can be part of it. If that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, please open your DM for me, sir. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, yes, I think that's very, very important. I was even about to ask that. It's good that we have that diversity, and I totally understand the point where he said something about our Nigerian system. Yes, as much as we're trying to change the system, sometimes you have to act like the system, not being the system, but acting like it. I believe he has every other thing, but there are other places that he needs to penetrate, he needs to reach out to. So I think I understand the point that Mr. Isa was trying to drive. So now we'll go to Mr. Plato, and then after Mr. Plato, we'll go to Mr. Ahmed. Please,
Sorry,
Plato, you
please.
have. Is
Sorry,
that
please.
not it?
It's Mr. Nice first. Mr. Nice, you've been
Okay,
here for a
nice.
while.
Yes, sorry, I mixed it up. Oh, after nice, we have Plato, and then Mr. Ahmed.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Nice. Sorry, I apologize.
Oh, that's fine. I've been listening to the conversation and I watched him this morning. I'm not in Nigeria, so I had to wake up a little bit earlier because of time difference to watch that live. And I've been watching and following him for a very long time. I'm from Anambra State, by the way. And I watched when he became the governor in 2003, and then he was impeached and came back again in 2006, all the way to 2014. I admired three key things about him as a person: his simplicity as an individual. When it comes to education qualification, there's nobody who has declared. I think there are over 20 people who have declared so far. Nobody can match him. He's been to all the amazing, great schools: Harvard, Cambridge, Columbia
Sorry, Mr.
University.
Nice, I'd like to increase your volume a little more so that we can hear you better.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, you just have to increase more so that everyone can be able to hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Go
So I
ahead.
was saying that, yeah, in terms of his educational background, he's been to all the top schools across the world. So he has that. And more than that, also, he has the ability to attract attract foreign or international organizations who can set up businesses. He can attract government. We have a lot of debts right now. Peter Obi, from what I see, is the only one who can help us, just like Obasanjo did before 2007, to help clear the debt. He pushed them, most of our debts were forgiven, and we paid the rest. P2B is the only one that I can see right now who can help us convince the IMF and other financial institutions and other countries that we're owing to maybe forgive us or reduce the debt. He can do it. He can get into meetings and talk about economics that can convince these people to do some investment in Nigeria, make some profit, and kind of forgive or reduce our debt. Another thing I like about him is he's issue based. This morning, Rufai was trying to get him to talk about his successor, Obiano, that he helped to put in. He wouldn't want to go there. He doesn't want to attack personality. He talks about issues, right? So he said that everybody, and he's not a do or die politician. It's not like this is his personal ambition. If he doesn't get it, Nigeria would be on fire and all of that. He's just offered himself and he says, let's talk about issues. Anybody who has the best of Nigeria's interests should be given the opportunity. I think I've listened to all of them. I've listened to Oshibaja declared yesterday. I've listened to all of them, not just now that they've declared. I've been following them before 2015 and 2015 when they took over. I see people who just want to be leaders, but they don't want to be learners, right? You cannot lead if you don't learn. It doesn't work. Peter Obi on his own has been to over 30 countries just learning what works and what doesn't work. So he learns it in Bangladesh, Indonesia, China, but then he brings it home and he localizes it. So his ability to localize the things that he learns into a Nigerian system is amazing. Now, we've talked about getting PVC and all of that. It's important. And since I'm in Ghana right now, and we're trying to mobilize groups of people who will support. We never had a candidate until Peter Obi came in. So now we're pushing to support Peter Obi, not because he's from Anambra State, but because he will be a center figure that can unite the country and that can unite Nigeria to the world. Ghana, there's a lot of countries very close. I'm not even talking about Western countries, but countries that are in Africa that hate Nigerians. They hate the country, they hate the people of the country. Just because our leaders have shown cluelessness, they've shown that they don't care about anything, and Nigerians are all over the world doing all kinds of things just to survive. With Peter Obi's interest in SMEs and his interest in the youth, it will draw back to Nigeria a lot of Nigerians who are not in Nigeria right now. And that would increase our image again. It would increase our brand. And this is what we need now. We need the brand image of Nigeria to go up again. We can't continue to, I don't know where you guys are, but if you lived in Ghana in the last 7 years, you would have seen how terrible Nigeria has gone down. And you can imagine how we've gone down all over the world. P2B can help raise that bar. So whoever you are, I want to talk to, this might be a little funny, but this is serious for me now. We had a meeting 2 days ago. We had 28 male guys who were there and 17 women. Out of the 17, only 3 of them are married. The rest 14 are not. And so what we agreed on doing is that any Nigerian.
Okay, 5 minutes have elapsed. Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, just wrap up in 10 seconds, please.
Okay, good. So what we agreed is that anybody who wants to ask you out for anything, ask the person, hey, do you have your PVC? If you don't have your PVC, I can't go out with you. We have to be serious now. We have to ensure that when we go home, our father, our mother, our wives, our husbands, everybody, as long as you're over 18, it should be mandatory right now that everybody goes out and gets their PVC. Anybody who doesn't have this PVC cease to be my friend, to be very honest. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you, Mr. Nice. Now we are moving on to Mr. Plato, and after Mr. Plato, we'll move on to Mr. Ame. Please go ahead, Plato.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll even need to be, having more of this town hall conversation. But for me, just like some other people have said, is the Mr. P2B has been consistent in his philosophy and in his practice, not just in terms of his words, but in terms of reality, practicality, what he has done and what he's doing and what he will continue to do when given an opportunity to preside over our country. But you see this issue of not borrowing for recurrent expenditure. It is my key word. It is my takeaway. Because you see, the economy is the substructure on which other superstructures rest. Once you get your economy right, other things will follow. I don't think there's any business person that is running a business that will go and borrow money from a bank to conduct a wedding or to go and buy the soup and eat. That money will be put into his business. From his profit he will generate. After paying the interest, he can do other things that he wants to do. And I don't think if anybody has a company that he wants to hire a manager to run the company, I don't think the person will look outside, having seen an OB. Just being frank, if Nigeria was to be my company and I want to hire a manager that can trust and go and sleep, I will hire a Peter Obi. Because the truth is that the behavior of the head, the leader, matters a lot. How the leader behaves determines how the followers behave. This is not the issue of follow my word, but don't follow my behavior. People observe, and as observe the leader, they will follow suit. And today in Nigeria, we need a leader that will inspire confidence, that will motivate the people to bring out their best. If you look at this, what is happening in Anambra State, it's just a case of a leader leading by example, inspiring and motivating the people. And in this 21st century that we are today, we need a capable hand that can engage people both within and outside the country. And for me, I see that in P2B. If Nigeria, as I said before, if Nigeria is to be my country, as in was to be my company, I'll just hire P2B without even looking back. And in short, I'll give him unlimited term of service. Just, Oga, continue to work in this company until you don't feel like working again, until maybe you have seen someone that you have trained that can take over. If you look at countries like Singapore that we are talking today, what happened in Singapore? It was because of the leader. The leadership defines and matters a lot in how not just a country, but even an organization, the direction they will go. And let me even share something with us. You see, P2B studies philosophy, first degree. And in leadership, is highly recommended that a would-be leader must be trained very, very well. And philosophy is very, very key because you need to understand, you need to have that wisdom to be able to relate with people. The more reason why he's very, very rich, but you don't even see him. If you look at him, you will not see that money beating all over him. But he has it more than even some people that are painting everywhere, raising alarm, we are rich with big convoy. Because he has realized that human wisdom, once if you're wise enough, money will not move you. But the service you offer to humanity will be what will be moving you, to what will be motivating you, and not necessarily how much we have in our pocket. So I will encourage all of us to do whatever we can to spread this gospel of Obi. It's not for him, but it's for the betterment of the country as a whole. Are you?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Plato. We appreciate you a lot for your contribution and everyone that has spoken so far. And now we are going to take Mr. Ame. Mr. Ame, please go ahead. Hello, Mr. Ame, are you there?
I don't think he's here. Maybe we should go with Vahala. Mr.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Vahala, are you there? Mr. Vahala, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm happy to be in your midst. it's gonna be.
Sorry, sir. Please, I apologize. Let me just interject a bit. You could just help us share the space, guys. Please help us share it so that more people can be able to join us and know that something like this is going on here. Thank you, and sorry, sir, for the interjection. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm actually joining this space from Norway, where I base, and I listened to Obi this morning as well. There are a couple of things that, in as much as we support a candidate, there are a couple of things that we need to look at. I often tell people that one of the drawbacks I see in our polity in Nigeria is the lack of our ability to ask critical questions. And I think understanding is key to knowing what to ask. First of all, we need to go back to the basics. What are the functions of a president, and how does a candidate, fit into those responsibilities? The key 4 functions of a president is national security, economic management, foreign affairs, and and economic growth. These are the key functions of a supposed president of a country. Now, we need to start looking at each and every one of our candidates. How have they fared in each of these areas? And when you take up, for example, Peter Obi as a candidate, yes, you can give him a check mark on economic management based on his antecedents in Anambra State. But of course, he still lacks mostly on national security. He lacks on foreign affairs. He lacks on growth, economic growth. For example, when you look at a governor, a typical Nigerian governor, what do? They basically get federal allocation from the state, from the federal, and then they use that to pay salaries and all those things. You can barely count the governors in Nigeria that have actually created jobs. You can count how many of them that have actually made it possible or made it conducive enough for their states to become a prime target of investment. And I don't blame them for this. The reason why I don't blame them for this is because Nigeria as a country is designed for failure, no matter who you are. If you put Peter Obi as the president of Nigeria today, trust me, he is not going nowhere. He is not going to achieve these expectations that we all have on him. And the reason for that is very simple. We have a very flawed structure in Nigeria. If Nigeria is not restructured, there is no person. Even look at what Obasanjo did from 1999 to 2008 when he left office. Basically, we couldn't increase our power generation output from what it was from when he became the president to when he left. And since then, it has been going down. I mean, how on earth can a country function by generating power as far as Port Harcourt and then transmit it back to Osogbo for distribution? It's sickening. Every region should be able to generate its power, and every region should be able to police itself. And that brings me back to security. So the reason why I'm saying this is that, yes, Peter Obi is a credible candidate, but he is sitting on a party that has refused Nigeria to be restructured, which means a good candidate sitting on the wrong foundation, because the PDP that we know used almost 16 years or 12 years in office, and they couldn't give us a restructured country. They couldn't give us an improved constitution. And why is that? Because they thrive on those. The constitution of Nigeria is designed to embolden the political class, not for you and me who are ordinary people. So we need to go to basics. In as much as we want the candidate to be there as a president, we need to ask him, what actions do you have towards the constitutional restructuring of Nigeria. If you go all over the world, I live in Norway here. We also have a federal system. I live in a commune that is what I call it a locality that is outskirts of Oslo. It has its own leadership, does its own budgets, generates or kind of builds its own infrastructure, power, and all those things, and everybody pays their taxes towards both the states and the center. And that's how Nigeria should be. So let's not be carried away by the goodwill or the good faith of a candidate. Let's start asking them the critical questions. What are your plans about restructuring this country? This country, without restructuring, let's forget about making any headway. Because you end up getting all these political hacks into places as ministers, and then the cycle continues. And then you end up getting these guys who are already in Senate and House of Representatives, and they will continue the cycle of padding the budget and stuff like that. I mean, what is he going to do about it? What are his plans? Does he intend to make our budget, to pass our budget through forensic audits? Does he intend to kind of make our budgetary allocation more transparent? How does he want to do that? These are pertinent questions. It's not about having a good face. It's not about what you did in Anambra State, because the state system is different from the federal system. They have different and entirely responsibilities as a president and as a governor. They don't intertwine in any place. So let's get back to the basics. Let's forget about singing these praises. Let's focus on the key issues. Nigeria needs restructured. What is PDP stand on restructuring? This is a fundamental issue. We cannot have this long list of exclusive lists on the federal level, and then the states cannot do anything.
Okay, sir, you have just some seconds to round up.
Okay, I'm going to round up. Somebody asked a question about what happened at Ezu River, and Peter B said, well, he doesn't have control of the police, and that is the problem. How can you be a governor without having a control of the police? That's why regional government is very important, so that accountability will become very easy in Nigeria. Not someone sitting as a governor and then he denies having knowledge of what happens in his state. It shouldn't work that way. Okay, so that's my take on this.
All right. I think. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Since he's still here, let me just engage him a bit. Yeah, thank you, Bahala. I also lived in Norway for a few years, in terms of, to be precise. So thank you. It's good to have you here. I just wanted to say that you talked about restructuring, which I am so passionate about. I'm a believer in restructuring as well. But you can't restructure a country in a vacuum. You need a leader who understands restructuring, who wants restructuring. Now, you talked about PDP, being a party that do not want restructuring, right? PDP does not breathe. PDP does not talk. It is the people in PDP that do. And Obi is a person in PDP. I have listened to him talk about restructuring when they asked him the question, and he made his stand known on restructuring. He is pro restructuring. He wants restructuring. Why do I say so? He didn't give an example. In Anambra State, he had to, take the security situation to the local level, community level, where he empowered, various communities to have their own security outfits, not looking up to the state. You get? So these are the kind of thing that the government has to do. I have always been someone who is pro restructuring. I want states and even local governments to have their own police. Because if you have a policeman from your own local government, he won't look at you and shoot you because you didn't give him money or something. So I know his stand on restructuring, and I also know that others also know his stand on that. So I think we should have to look at the individual, not just a party.
No, but I think it's important to look at the party, because how does the party's views align with his views? It's very, very important. You cannot have somebody who shares different views with what the party wants to achieve, because it's the party people. For example, if they get the Senate and if they get the House, it's the party ideology that will make it easy for him to navigate this.
You're
let me
right.
give you let me give you an example. Of course, I understand that. So let me give you an example now. You know, when he was in Anambra, what's it called? What's it called?
Impeached.
Impeached. Yes,
Yeah.
impeached. You know, so even those within his party didn't agree with him, but he had to do what was right for the state. You know, at the detriment of those in his party. You know, so I think that parties present a platform for people to contest, right? But what happens after that is the person's making. For instance, Buhari wasn't, you know, he wasn't anything in APC before 2015. But today he is the face of APC. He is the leader of APC. And whatever he says in APC happens. But before 2015, it was Tinubu and the rest of them who were controlling the party. So he became the president, and now he is the one in charge of the party. Nothing happens without him. So that is the power, you know, a president can command. And that is why I know that when we have somebody who understands restructuring, who wants to structure it, even though the party does not want it, he's going to, you know, canvas for it. And restructuring, you know, just to say, it's not something the president alone has the power to do. It takes a process. You know, we have a process of, you know, of doing that. And I am sure that when we have the right person, he's going to kind of canvas people. He's going to, you know, cajole people into agreeing to restructuring. Why we can't restructure is because there are several interest groups who do not want it. And we know those things, you know.
There are lots of those interest groups in PDP. That's the problem.
They are scattered all over Nigeria, everywhere. They are everywhere in every single, you know, party. You know, so they don't have our own interests, you know, in their minds and stuff like that. So I believe that, I mean, I have known his stand on restructuring. If not, I mean, I wouldn't have been talking about it. So I just wanted to, you know, correct that impression.
The stand he had on restructuring
Okay.
is similar stand that Atiku presented in 2019 as well. It's not restructuring actually.
Hello,
What he proposed is to remove, is to take out some key aspects from the exclusive list.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, I think that what is going on here is not about praise and worship of Obi. It's not. In fact, if it's about praise and worship, then we are not ready to move. Because I believe that we are here to scrutinize him. And this is one person that has continued to present himself for scrutiny. And that is a way forward. So what you've said, I don't think that any well-meaning person will take it to heart. What you are saying, I even like the fact that you are looking at it from the lens of somebody that is in the diaspora, someone that has tested good governance, has seen what other countries are doing. So I believe that you're an authority to ask these very thought-provoking questions that you are asking. On Nigeria Info, I listened to him that day. I listened to that interview from A to Z. He said categorically clear that there is nothing wrong with restructuring. And this is one thing that's been very controversial, very, very controversial, because people feel that restructuring is trying to divide the country. But we have to do this so that it can align with our reality as Nigerians. The present method or the present mode of governance we are operating is alien to us. It was given to us by the colonial masters. We need to have something that is more inclined with our values as Nigerians. So I believe that anyone that brings up this issue, these questions you're asking, they are very, very relevant. And I will tell you that His Excellency has not been quiet about it. You can just check the thread up, you'll see that a whole thread of all that you need to know. They say talk is cheap, but I think that he has been able to demonstrate some level of commitment. Yes, nobody is perfect, and there are some reservations or they pick someone that they feel is better to represent them, I won't have much to say because I'm not a party member. But there is something I see in this man, or there is something that every other person on this space sees. And what you have seen are the inadequacies that